Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the story of a fighter who seems almost destined for greatness, a man forged in the mountains of Dagestan and molded by one of the greatest minds in MMA history. We're talking about the one and only Islam Makhachev. When you look at Islam Makhachev, you see more than just a UFC champion. You see the continuation of a legacy, the evolution of a style, and the quiet, relentless determination that defines the Dagestani school of combat. His journey wasn't an overnight success story. It was a long, arduous climb, filled with challenges, setbacks, and an unwavering belief in his path. Born in Makhachev and raised in the small village of Burshi, Islam's childhood was steeped in the rugged traditions of Dagestan. It's a place where toughness isn't just encouraged, it's a way of life. Like many kids in his region, he was drawn to combat sports from a young age, starting with combat sambo. This wasn't just a hobby, it was a passion that would soon put him on a collision course with destiny. That destiny had a name: Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. The legendary coach, father of Khabib, saw something special in the young Makhachev. It wasn't just his raw talent, but his discipline and coachability. Islam became a core member of Abdulmanap's camp, training alongside his childhood friend, Khabib Nurmagomedov. They weren't just teammates, they were brothers, pushing each other to their limits day in and day out in those grueling, now famous Dagestani training sessions. The bond between Islam and Khabib is something truly special in the world of sports. Khabib wasn't just a training partner, he was a mentor, a big brother who had already walked the path to glory. Abdulmanap himself famously said that when Khabib retired, Islam would be the one to take over. This wasn't a prediction, it was a plan that required immense pressure and expectation to be placed on Islam's shoulders from a very early stage in his career. Makhachev turned professional in 2010, building an impressive undefeated record on the Russian circuit. His skills were undeniable. The suffocating grappling, the relentless chain wrestling, the punishing ground and pound. It all had the signature stamp of Abdulmanap's school. When the UFC call finally came in 2014, it felt like the prophecy was beginning to unfold. He won his debut fight with a submission, looking every bit the dominant force he was touted to be. But the world of MMA is unforgiving, and a harsh lesson was just around the corner. In his second UFC fight, against Adriano Martins, Makhachev was caught. A perfectly timed punch sent him to the canvas, handing him his first and, to this day, only professional loss. For many fighters, a knockout loss like that can be a career-defining setback. It can create doubt, hesitation, and fear. But for Islam, it became a crucial turning point. Instead of breaking him, it fortified him. Guided by his team, he went back to the drawing board, not to change his style, but to perfect it. He learned the importance of patience, of defensive discipline, and of respecting the power that exists at the highest level of the sport. What followed that loss was one of the most impressive winning streaks in modern MMA. Islam began a methodical, relentless climb up the lightweight rankings. He wasn't just winning fights, he was dominating them in a way that was eerily reminiscent of Khabib. Opponent after opponent was taken down, controlled, and often finished. Fighters like Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, and Dan Hooker were all made to look ordinary against his overwhelming grappling prowess. Yet, despite his dominance, the path to the title was frustratingly slow. For a long time, top-ranked opponents seemed hesitant to face him. He was seen as a high-risk, low-reward fight, a stylistic nightmare who didn't yet have the mainstream name recognition to guarantee a huge payday. Islam and his team, including a now-retired Khabib who had seamlessly transitioned into a coaching role, were vocal about their struggle to get a shot at the elite. But you can only deny a force like Islam Makhachev for so long. Eventually, the UFC had no choice but to give him his chance. His title shot came against Charles Oliveira at UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi, a location that felt like a home game. Oliveira was a submission artist of the highest caliber, a man on an incredible winning streak of his own, and the reigning champion. Many saw it as the classic striker versus grappler matchup, but it was so much more. What we saw that night was the culmination of years of dedication. Islam didn't just out-grapple Oliveira, he outstruck him. He was calm, composed, and technically flawless. He dropped the champion with a clean punch before swiftly locking in an arm triangle choke to secure the submission and the UFC lightweight championship. The torch had officially been passed. The prophecy of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov had been fulfilled. In the octagon, an emotional Khabib raised Islam's hand, a powerful moment that symbolized the continuation of their shared legacy. But becoming champion is one thing. Staying champion is another. His first title defense was against a man many considered the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, the featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovski. Volk was moving up in weight, seeking to become a two-division champ. This was a true super fight, a test of skill versus skill. The fight at UFC 284 in Australia was an absolute classic, a 5-round technical war that pushed both men to their absolute limits. It was a chess match of the highest order. Islam showed that his striking had evolved to an elite level, holding his own on the feet with one of the best strikers in the sport. And Volkanovski, in turn, showed incredible takedown defense and an ability to get back to his feet that surprised everyone. Islam won a close but clear unanimous decision, proving that he could not only dominate with his grappling but also win a hard-fought, strategic battle against the best of the best. The fight silenced any doubters and solidified his position at the top of the sport. It showed he wasn't just a specialist, he was a complete mixed martial artist. He later confirmed his superiority with a stunning first-round head kick knockout in their rematch, leaving no questions unanswered. What makes Islam Makhachev truly one of a kind? It's the unique combination of his suffocating sambo-based grappling, his ever-improving and underrated striking, and his incredible fight IQ. He controls distance on the feet, using kicks to manage range before timing his entries for takedowns with near-perfect precision. Once he gets his hands on you, it's a different world. His chain wrestling is relentless. If one takedown fails, he seamlessly transitions to another. And on the ground, his control is smothering. He uses his weight, his hips, and his limbs to immobilize opponents, exhausting them and creating openings for submissions or ground and pound. It's a style honed over decades in the toughest training rooms on the planet. But beyond the technique, it's his mentality. Islam possesses a quiet, unshakable confidence. He doesn't engage in trash talk or theatrics. He carries himself with the calm demeanor of a man who knows exactly what he's capable of. He trusts his training, he trusts his coaches, and he trusts the system that was built by Abdulmanap and carried on by Khabib. This system is his greatest weapon. The team around him, including Khabib, coach Javier Mendez at AKA, and his other Dagestani brothers, provides a support structure that is unmatched in MMA. They strategize together, train together, and win together. It's a collective effort, a family affair. As the current UFC lightweight champion and often ranked as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev stands at the pinnacle of mixed martial arts. He is the living embodiment of his mentor's famous phrase, "Father's plan." He has carried the weight of expectation and transformed it into a championship belt. His story is far from over. There are still challenges to conquer and new legacies to build. But one thing is for sure, Islam Makhachev is not just the next Khabib. He is the first and only Islam Makhachev, a unique talent, a dominant champion, and a fighter who has truly earned his place among the all-time greats. What do you think is next for the champ? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.